Okay, sorry about that, folks. It turns out I did make something. I did make this a bit more redundant. Um, instead of actually using select float on this part, what we're going to actually do is actually use clamp, because pretty much clamp is a lot more cleaner. It's pretty much a lot more cleaner. So what we want is pretty much we want to know we want the the character's y max value. So wait a second. So let's go actually grab the player's character. We want to grab the value of y, the value of the player character's location of y, and we want to clamp from the minimum of the lowest point from the maximum to the highest point. Same thing with x. I mean, same thing with z, not x, z. Again, grab the player's character value and drag player's character z value into here, and grab the lowest point of z and the highest point of z. There we go. A lot more. That's a lot more clear. And we don't actually need these. Now we got a bit more readable thing. So let me go ahead before I go over it and go crazy and everything else. What clamp does is pretty much whenever it extends to one point to another, extend farther than the point it is, it will clamp it down, or pretty much stop at that certain point, because it pretty much reaches maximum. It just doesn't want to go anywhere further. So we pretty much got that. We got what we need taken care of. So real quick, let me go ahead, just so I don't forget what point, which one it is and which one it's not. I'm gonna make this one the clamp value, clamp actor location y, and we'll do the same thing here. The let's see, and name this clamp actor location. Okay, or we just name these world location. World location Z. We're going to rename this top right here to. And let's actually add in world in here as well. There we go. So now we should have what we want. So with that taken care of, let's go ahead and save. And let's go ahead and play. Let's go ahead and play. Let's go ahead and walk in the left. Walk in the left. So now you notice that the camera is moving around on its own when at a certain point. That's pretty much telling us that our camera system's working and it's actually clamping on a certain location. So that's pretty much awesome. That's pretty much awesome as well. But now we want to influence. Now we want to try to influence most of our transformative parts. So actually, now thinking about it, I think there's something I actually neglected to add in for the camera for the collision boxes, where aka the camera bound box and the active collision box. Sorry about that. Need me to do myself a big favor. Whenever I'm doing a tutorial, I need to make sure maybe turn that off, because that might distract everyone on what I'm doing. So for right now, I'm actually going to actually I'll leave it on. And forget about it. Yeah, I'll leave it on. Where follow you? I'm sorry I didn't catch you. Give me a quick second though. Very quick second. because somebody actually follow. George OTS, thank you for the follow and such. I really appreciate that. All right, back to work. Sorry about that. So now we want what I really want actually also add in is pretty much I want to set the box extent as well, just so I can because I want to do a lot of crazy not crazy stuff, but a lot of hands-on editing bits with it. So with that, we're gonna get the box extent. We also want to grab its local, make its promote its variable to again active for active collision. Actor collision. Extent. We'll go ahead and make sure it's visible, and with the plain extent. And we'll go ahead and create a variable for this one as well. Call it camera. Camera box. What do I call it? Camera box. Camera box. Camera box extent. And I keep forgetting to put in the T. That should be that should take care of most. That should take care of most of it. Now let's go ahead and actually set their values to a default value for X. We'll pretty much so they're not doing anything special with X because of world position and everything else. We'll just set this to 50, and we'll set Y for the active collision extent. We'll set this to about the maximum of to about 256 or 250 by 250. And we'll set the camera box extent to 100 Y, 100 and 100 Z. We'll set the X to 10. While we set the camera collision extent to 50. Matter of fact, actually, let's make this 100, just so that it's actually touching each other. That should take care of the box extent. The next thing also, another thing I want to also add in is pretty much the camera's view of view. FOV. We want to set this field of view to a certain variable added in here. How you doing, Luxon? How you doing, Luxon V? Now we want to add. Now we want to pretty much call this FOV for short. Make sure this is editable, and we'll for this default we'll set to its FOV to 90. The next thing I also want to try to get is to set it. This thing I want to set up is it's not visibility, but man, what is it called? We want to set its projection mode. From there, it shows projection on either perspective or orthographic. And we'll name this projection mode. And what we're going to do is actually drag these into camera view, because I drag these into the category of camera view because I'm really and very anal about organizations and such. Let's see what else we need? What else we need to add in? Well, if we are going to, if we are going to use, if for some reason that you want to use an orthographic for some reason, um, we can also set its orthographic width by wherever its width was at. And let me make sure. Let me go into camera, look in the look in here, and just change the orthographic so I can know what its default orthographic width is. Excuse me. So let's go call it ortho width. And we'll also make that editable. Make that editable. Real quick, dude. And because I'm very anal, let's go and make sure I have some reroutes. I thought there was like a hotkey for this, but I don't quite remember. Let's go ahead and get this linked up here real quick because I don't want to forget. And actually, let's go ahead and break everything. Break links. Make that thing link to here, then link to here, just so we can have all this cleanness taken care of. Let's see, that should be pretty much about it. Yeah, that should be about it right here. And we'll make this like this. And that should be it. Now, just add more categories. We want to add the camera. Add another category called camera bounds. Because, well, I need to keep myself organized somehow. Keep all this organized somehow. And let's put the camera transform